All right, pretty much going to jump right into it today. I just have one health tip, and that's to eat carbs. You must eat carbs to function. It's for the brain. The brain needs 50 grams of carbohydrates a day to function. You need your brain for this game. If you do not have a good brain function while you're trading, you're not going to be good at trading. It takes a lot of mind power. People say that, oh, it's so easy because you just can sit on your ass. That's fine, but the mental gymnastics that go on throughout your day are going to be wild, especially if you're playing with more than 50 bucks. So as your account rises, the stress becomes higher, and that's part of having more money causes more problems. So make sure you're eating carbs for energy, for brain function. They're on this planet for a reason. I'm talking about fruits. I'm talking about vegetables. I'm talking about good grains. I'm talking about oatmeal and oats, things that actually produce things for your body. This whole like fad, no carb diet is a joke. I mean, hey, if you sit on your butt all day, then yeah, don't eat carbs. But that's my other thing is walk. If you're going to the store, don't drive. If it's within a mile, walk there. You walk there, you walk back, you just walk 2 miles, and that's doing something. You don't always have to be sprinting up hills to burn calories or to lose weight. So make sure you stay active, incorporate carbs in your diet. If you haven't incorporated carbs in your diet for a while, wean yourself back onto them. 25 grams for the first 2 weeks. After those 2 weeks, jump up to 50 grams. Let your body get accommodated with them again. And remember, I'm not talking about any type of carb here. If you're eating processed sugars, then you're a bum. You have to have natural foods. Period. Water all day, every day. Stay hydrated. If you don't, you're going to feel like crap. It's all I drink is water nonstop. It's the blood of life. So that's my health tip. And then for my market tip, which I did this weekend, and people think I'm crazy and I'm bipolar, which, by the way, bipolar doesn't exist. It's just another made-up disease to put you on more drugs, to mess with your brain function when you're probably fine. Everybody has emotions. Everybody handles them differently, but bipolar disorder is a scam, just like ADHD is a scam. They're all just, it's crap. I mean, to get kids on Ritalin, it's just pill pushing in a legal form. I don't want to hear about it. Nobody has bipolar disorder. Nobody has ADHD. Nobody has a lot of things that they say that they have. Like depression puts you on Xanax and makes you tired all day and eat too much and just be a bum. You don't have to take pills for pain. Live through it. Deal with it. Otherwise, you're going to get hooked on them. And who does that help? The pharmaceutical companies. Why do you think that they don't have it? Do you really think that they can make a supercomputer, but they don't have a cure for cancer? Come on. The chemo just gets them too much cash. So how did I get on that tangent? I'm not sure. Oh yes. So everybody's calling me bipolar because I look crazy all over the boards. Hey, it's a war on the boards, and I'm trying to win. I'm not there to make friends. I'm not there to make buddies. I'm not there to go on boat trips with all the millionaires that are made off these long positions. No. I don't care. I'm never going to meet anybody on these boards ever in my goddamn life. I've only met one person, maybe two people. They were, obviously had a bunch of followers. I actually was in Houston. I met this guy, Power Battles. I don't know if you know him. He's one of the old heads. Met him, met another guy. That's it. And, it's not like I keep in touch with them all the time. What I'm saying is don't feel like you're part of a community on the boards. They are your enemies. You should hate everyone equally because it is a war. And if you don't maneuver correctly, you're going to lose and you're going to die. That's just the way it is. That's why whenever I hear these things like, I'm disappointed, don't ever be disappointed. If somebody sells, they sell. Don't ever be disappointed if you sell and the price keeps going and everybody's excited. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's a stock. It's numbers on a screen. It's a words on a screen. Has nothing to do with anything. The only thing that matters is that the price goes up and you sell it and put money in the bank. Like I always say, get to know your banker on a first name basis. That's all that matters. But the quick tip is Bash for info. Listen, there's too much to do. You could sit here all day. It's all I think about, and I don't have enough time to go all over all the 10Ks and look at it. There's just too much to look at, and you don't want to get too clouded. So I wake up, I go on the boards on NVOS. I knew that there was a chance that they could RS tomorrow because they would have to gain compliance, and they would have to be over $1. So that did worry me for a second, and I didn't know that the compliance date was then. So I woke up, I put out all this FUD and like scary stuff, knowing that the longs, the dedicated longs, would do my DD for me, which is exactly what they did. And when I woke up, the information was there in front of me. Now, did I make any friends? No. Does everyone think I'm bipolar? Sure. Does that matter to me? No. Why would it? Why would I care what some random guy on a screen thinks of me? It doesn't matter. All I care about is getting free information, and it worked. And it works every time. So it's called bashing for info. If you're finding yourself not wanting to look through a 10K, just come out and start saying, well, wait, the RS is going to happen on Monday. And then everybody will be like, no, and here's why. And then you take that and you soak it up and you say, is this something that I want to invest in or keep my money in? And then you keep moving forward. Have other people do your DD for you just by posting a few messages that are going to get people on and talking. So eat carbs for brain function, stay active, keep moving, don't just sit on your ass all day, and bash for info regardless of whether people like you or not, because it doesn't matter if they do or not. Stop worrying about what other people think about you, not only in life. Stop spending $1,000 on shoes to, make people impressed. Stop buying, $100,000 cars and going to the laundromat. Obviously, I've seen people do it. And stop worrying about if the guy named Chimichuck Moonboy 3000 is going to like you or not. Have him do your work for you. Sounds better to me, right? Yeah. So NVOS is what we're going to start with. It's probably one of my heaviest positions at the moment, which is very, very nice. I don't have any problems with that situation whatsoever. I feel very comfortable, very safe. If they do RS, even if they did RS tomorrow, it wouldn't really be that big of a deal. It would just open at a different price. My shares will be cut down 1 to 100, whatever the case may be. And I'll probably just sell right away because I'm not taking the risk of them diluting it. But sometimes they RS and the price can run like the dickens. So, it's up to you what you want to do. I don't think they're going to RS. I think they're going to file for an extension. I think there's going to be a run into May 29th, which is the date that the ER is supposed to come out, the earnings release. Fine, I'll buy that rumor all day. I like that. What do? I always buy when it breaks this middle band and shows bullishness above it. People are talking about give me confirmation. It's already confirmed for me. That's why I said make sure you buy today or you might be pissed. Now, could it come back and revisit that middle orange band? Sure, but I think that the bullishness of the close above it and then the continuation above it, I like the fact that the MACD hasn't come down. It's stayed bullish and it's turning back up. I like the fact that the RSI is above 50, which tells me it's bullish. It's about to come back up. Once it gets back up here, that's when I'm going to think about selling. Will that be at 18? Not sure. Will that be at 20? Not sure. Will that be at 24? Not sure. Will this get a lot of volume going into the earnings date? Yes, I do think it will. All we have to do is avoid an RS and we're good to go. And I think that's going to happen. I have 90,000 shares from 15.4 and I couldn't be happier. E-Tech. So I don't know if there's a date involved with this one. Please let me know if there is, because this chart is looking extremely bullish, keeping its form above this middle band, which is beautiful. Again, MACD staying hot and curling back up. RSI turning back up, 62, not overburnt. You got 2 million volume. That's your one issue. You need volume. You get one good volume day. It pushes above 8, 9. You're in blue skies. You're probably going to go on another run. It'll be a nice stair stepper. With the merger bound to happen at some point, you're just going to need people to come in. It's going to need something. I don't think that this is just going to blast off on no news. I think you're going to need a tweet from the company giving you a date. So follow them, follow whoever you need to follow, where that update is going to be right on your screen when it happens. That's when you buy, because that will push it. any type of update, if they give you, let's say they come out and they say the merger is due to be finished on June 2nd, then you just buy it and wait, because that date is going to spark interest. It's going to get people thinking. It's going to get people buying. And that's what's going to bring in the volume to push it above the previous high, which is now resistance. And it's going to move up to, let's say, run 100% past 9. Now, let's say it runs to 15, bank 15, wait for it to pull back. Or if it's too close to the date, don't buy it back at all. That's actually going to lead me into my next stock that I didn't have exactly there, but it brings up a good point, and it's a good segue into this one, FCGD. FCGD was one that I bought recently at 4, sold it at 6. You never want to hold on to these trip stocks because a few ticks can kill you. You know, and look, it's just been, it's staying above this middle band, but the volume's dying. It's pretty much stuck in the situation. 3 might get sold out soon. You might be able to hit that on the ask. I would not recommend buying this because of the fact that it's just up in the air now. The date came and went. It didn't work out, just like I kind of said it would. It never works out. It's never worked out. Don't ever get sucked into that. Don't ever look at the boards and be like, wow, everybody's saying that it's going to happen. It's going to happen, because it's not. That's why I've been successful, and I've went 500% on my entire portfolio over these past 2.5 weeks, because I've been buying the rumor and selling before the news. That's how it's done. You don't wait for the news to come, because it will murk you in the bunghole every single time. I've been there. I've done that. I've won and I've lost. And I could tell you without a shadow of a doubt, if you hold into news, you're going to be in trouble, especially in a trip stock where you're going to have to, if you buy in the ask on a Friday, you might have to sell that bid on a Monday, and that could be 25, 40% off. That's a big issue. Do not get sucked into trip stocks. Because when is that going to actually have the news, the merger? I don't know. Could take forever. Could be a year. Could be 2 years. Could be 2 months. Could be 2 days. I don't know, but I'm not willing to sit on dead money for that long, especially buying at 5 and having to wait at 3 until it does anything else, because who knows how long that's going to be. Moan. Remember, the market is about risk management. If you are down and you do miss, you get out for the least amount of loss that you possibly can. If you are up, you try and soak in as much gain as you can, but you don't shoot. 20% is a huge uptick, okay? You get 20% on a consistent basis, your account is going to grow. You can't think in the moment. You got to think, okay, if I take this gain now, how is that going to help me in the future? Well, it's going to give me $2,000 extra to trade. I'm going to be able to diversify my portfolio. If I had 2,000 before, now I have 4,000. Now I could take that and split it up into 2 stocks, and you're mitigating your risk at all times. This is how trading is done. It's risk mitigation. If you don't do that and you go all in on one stock, or you're over invested on one stock, it's going to cause emotional trading. There's so many things that go into this, and leading into Moan, this is very good, because I know there's a lot of new traders in that have been absolutely bag boyed to this core of the earth to live with the devil and all of his demons. And Lawrence Harge has literally been Satan on earth, the Antichrist, the biggest piece of crap that I've ever seen in my damn life. And I told you that, and I told you that a while ago. And what's he in jail now or something? God only knows. Biggest scumbag, eating soul food out of a styrofoam cup at his house, 1-bedroom house. And y'all think that he's gonna go to Washington and give a bid to Biden for a battery that he has a patent on that anybody could have done? Stop. Just stop. Why was I bringing up Mo? What was I getting into there? All right, I kind of had like a brain aneurysm there, but real quickly, just before I get into the chart of this and talking a little bit about Moan, because I really don't want to talk about it at all. It makes me sick. A friend of mine who's been a trader for a couple years, started in 2020 when everybody was winning, has this idea that when he gets a certain amount of money where he can trade calm, he can easily, well, not easily, but he says it's possible to be a perfect trader and to never take a loss. Listen, okay, it's a moot point. It's not even, it shouldn't even be an argument. I shouldn't even have addressed it, but I did, because it means a lot to me in the fact that I used to think that myself. I used to think that trading was easy and you could be a natural and there's a chance to just make money on every stock. If you get that, and this is why you can't have that mentality. mentality. It's like being an NBA player and saying, I'm going to make every shot I shoot this season. Obviously, that's not going to happen. It's just ridiculous to even think that, right? So don't ever think that in the market. Don't ever think that all your trades are going to work out, because they won't. I promise you that without a shadow of a doubt. 70% wins is a pro trader. 90% would be the greatest trader to ever exist. 80% would be a phenom. Most people try and just get over 50, just like sports betting. You just try and make more than you lose, but this 100% never miss a stock. This is why it would be a problem. Because let's say you bought into Moan and you thought, oh, I can't miss. Okay. It's got a lot of popularity, a lot of eyes. Everybody's talking about it. It looks good on paper. It looks like it's going to be the next big thing, but it's not, right? So obviously, right? So you buy into that and you go down 1% and you say, well, I can't miss. This is going to go back up, no problem. I'm only down 1%, fine. Okay, so you buy, because you can't just buy and expect it to always go up. I don't care. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes you're going to buy something and you're like, what? And it keeps going down. Whether it be dilution, a hidden hand, you don't know. This is like insane that I'm even bringing this up. But let's say you buy, you go down 1%, fine. Okay, now you're like, all right, that's cool. You go down 5%, fine, not that big of a deal, just needs 10% to get back to my average. Well, wait, that takes 10% to get back to my average. Okay, well, I'm only down $1,000 now, 5%, no big deal, it's okay. Now all of a sudden you're down 10%, which should be your threshold. That should be like, if I'm down 10%, I'm out without a question. But no, you got to make it green. You got to always have the right trade. So now you get in your ID, I'll get back to my average. It'll be fine. I'll just wait to get back to my average. Once it gets there, I'll sell it, okay? Then all of a sudden, the stock was Moan that you bought, and it was at $1 before the reverse split. Then you find yourself in a situation where you keep having to add, and don't ever add on the way down. Take your losses quick, cut them quick. Don't add on the way down to average down, because that's going to cause problems. Only add if you're on your way up. Only add if you made the right choice, not the wrong choice. Because all of a sudden, the price is going to be dropping, averaging down, going to the boards to feel good. Guys, we're still bullish, right? We're all still bullish. Good. We're part of a community. We're feeling good. All of a sudden, you're down 70, 80%, and there's no chance of you ever making your money back. You put $55,000 into the stock. You're still screaming bullishness on the boards, even though you look like a pathetic jerk, and everybody knows you're clowned and bagged. That's what happens to people that think they're going to be perfect traders, because they don't manage their risk. When the price goes red, they think that it's bound to go back up to their average, and they end up getting screwed. Okay. So don't think you're ever going to be a perfect trader. I know most people don't think that. This guy needs, a lesson in life that's just not going to happen. He's a good friend of mine. He does have good picks, and he is paying attention. He's like, I take notes though. I'm like, guy, what do you think, the pros don't take notes? There's no person on earth that's a perfect trader. Just stop. I hate to use them as an example, but if you're going to talk crazy shit like that, I'm going to put you on blast. I won't say your name, but you know who you are. It's just, as you go, and to say anything about Moan, come on, guys. Enough's enough. Let's all, hold hands and realize that we made the wrong decision here. Not that I would ever buy this, and but for the people involved, it's time to throw in the towel, take what you've lost. The short squeeze isn't coming. They're going to dilute your brains to dust. It's ridiculous. You look at these cars; they're straight from China. I'm not sure if they order from Alibaba, but it sure as hell looks like it. So just get over it. Sometimes you just gotta give up and move on to the next, and realize that you just focusing on this one stock is not going to get you better at trading. It's just going to make you angry. It's going to cause you to lose your wife, your kids, and everybody that loves you, everybody that you're affiliated with, your job. You won't have any food in your fridge. You won't be able to keep the lights on. Nobody's going to want to have sex with you. Your skin's going to break out in boils. You're basically going to be Job from the Bible, have everything stripped from you, your cattle, your crops, and you'll end up with no legs, no arms, and in a glass vial of that certain liquid that keeps your body alive, but with no movement, no breath, no vision, no hearing, and no taste. And we don't want to end up in that position, because that can get really tricky. That's kind of where you got to be on suicide watch, and we don't want to be in that situation now, do we? So you cut your losses, learn next time to cut them quick, and don't let them get bigger, and don't ever think that you're going to be a perfect trader, because that's literal lunacy. It's literally like saying, I'm going to go out this season and make every shot that I shoot. That's retarded. So look, now you got TRKA. Now look, okay, this thing is just bound to dump. It's a pump and dump. It's always been a pump and dump. I'm not even going to zoom out on this because it's not worth it. If you're in it, fine. You want to believe that the financials are going to be good. You want to believe, but what's been happening recently? I mean, I'm sure it's a lot of bagged people. Now I could be bullish on all these stocks and get a lot more subs, but only the truth will be told, or else I'll be turned to stone. We all know that. And that's why I have to tell the truth about TRKA. And a lot of people ask me about it, probably because they're getting so pumped by the people on the board saying that they have so much money and they're making so much money. It's a pump and dump. And you have to realize that, and you have to soak that into your heart and just stop believing what other people say. Realize that all these are scams. Every single stock that you look at is a scam. Realize that the company doesn't want you to be successful. They don't care. They're only caring about their success. Trust me, they do not care about the common shareholder. You are just a lemming to take money from. That's why most of people get stripped clean in the market, is because the company does not like you. TRKA, does it have another run in it eventually? Sure. I don't know. It's got a lot of people talking about it, but when I see stuff like this, when it tries to break out and it just gets dumped back down into the core of the earth to live with the devil and all of his demons and all the hellish fire, that's the magma that's going to burn through your eyes and burn through your skin and singe your hair to nothingness. It doesn't wake me up in any way. I don't want to be a part of this scam. I don't want to give this any money to this scam. Now, it could be a bottom here. I've always said 15 was probably going to be the bottom, which it's gotten very close to, and people will call me a dumb for saying it, which is fine. That doesn't matter. I don't get offended. I just make money, and they lose money, and that's what causes them to get so angry and judgmental. And that's okay, because I can live with that. Remember, not trying to make friends here. So if you look at this, obviously it's getting tanked on, but if I do have an alert set, because if 30 does break and hold above it and show me confirmation, maybe, who knows, maybe the financials come out and they made $1 trillion. Sure, I don't care. Whatever the next bump is, I'll buy that 30 break and I'll take it to wherever I want. And that's that. Until then, I will not be buying TRKA because it's a pump and dump. If you look at it, it was like this, and that's called a pump and dump, whether you want to believe it or not. I told everybody back then that they were diluting and nobody wanted to listen to me, and that's fine. But you guys are the ones that are down 50%. I'm not. You should have sold when I said to sell at 95. But you didn't. Now, JTBK, somebody, one of my friends, a friend that thinks he can make 100% of his trades, again, absolute lunacy. This had a great run the other day, and he did bring it up to me in the mid-twos, and that's great. But when I saw it, the volume just wasn't big enough. I mean, on this day, it was 1.5 million shares. That's about $5,000. If I was trying to load this, I would want. That's what I'm trying to load now. My account is bigger, so I'm not trying to go for these $1,000 plays. It just keeps your mind too all over the place. I want to focus on something. I want to make sure that I get to this 25K. So I'm not going to spread myself too thin. I'm going to pick 3 or 4 stocks that I'm very sure about, that I've traded before, that aren't just running on FOMO, that I might be buying the top on very thin. Could the bottom, the rug could get pulled out at any time. I'm not willing to take that risk. These are very risky stocks. They come out of nowhere. You could get in with your $5,000. Let's say I loaded $5,000, the other day. Now it could take off from here. It obviously looks like it wants to hold here. But if it pulls back to 2.2 and I bought at 3.8 with my $5,000, and it could happen in literally 3 sells because the bid is so thin, now I'm down and bagged as hell. And I'm the only opportunity that I have to sell is at 2.2, because that's giving me the 2 million share bid that I can dump into. Now I just took a 50% loss because I chased something that I know nothing about. Now if this comes back down to 2.2 to 2.5, then it might be an opportunity to get in. But I'm not going to chase just randomly, not knowing anything about what's going on with the company and just winging it. That's called gambling. That's how you lose money, and I'm not willing to do that. But as far as JTBK goes, yes, I mean, this could easily keep going. It's not going to take a lot to push it, and it's not going to take a lot to drop it. So I'm not going to chase it, but very well, JTBK could keep going. ENZC. This is one that I traded, told you guys to buy in 6.5 down to wherever. I was screaming to buy it when it was at 6. did exactly what I said it was going to do. I said that it was going to run to 7 in the morning, and that's exactly what it did. Look, it filled this top right here. That was at 7:16. I actually had my finger on the trigger to take my fund shares off because I had already sold 200,000 shares and I had 77 left. So I was like, you know what? I'll wing it. Maybe it does create a green because it's so low. It's been beaten down so hard, and it seems like OTCN had laid off the ask a little bit. They were a little bit less aggressive, which was a good sign for me. But it just didn't have it. And at the end of the day, and remember, it still had a higher low. So, you know, I'm just not liking the way that my technicals look here. Everything's turning down. There's been a lot of selling. They still have shares to sell. And, you know, I'm not taking the risk of this taking. So I just took my, you know, I actually, on that 77,000 shares, I lost a couple $100. Fine. I'm willing to let it go. I made money on the push to 7. It didn't make as much money as I could have. You know, but that's trading. You're not always going to squeeze the lemon for all of the juice. All you need is a little bit of taste of that citrus and that nice salmon to make the flavors pop. Got it? And that's what we're looking for. That's it. Nothing else doesn't matter. Now, the reason why I saw this was because on the 30-minute chart, sometimes you need to break it down a little more. You got to see the ropes a little bit tighter, not as big, you know? So you go on the 30-minute chart, and that's exactly what I saw last time. Trust me on it, okay? So, you know, I can't explain everything on here, but ENZC could still be in play, but it's going to need to get some stability down here. If it breaks through this support and holds below it, I don't know where the bottom is, and I'm not trying to be hanging in that bad boy with 270,000 shares losing $270 a clip. Not my situation. Remember, once you get big, you don't want to go overboard. You don't want to start thinking, okay, now I have 20 grand, I can fucking wing it. No, it doesn't work like that. You will get demolished. You'll go all the way up to 20 grand, and then all of a sudden you'll find yourself back down to 6 grand. You'll be like, oh my God, now I got to make all that money back. No, no, no. You don't want to take 3 steps forward and 10 steps back. Nah. Always just move forward. I don't care if it's $2. I don't care what it is. $200 doesn't matter. Move forward. Period. It's easy. Okay, now Hiru looks great. This is the daily. A little bit of decreased volume here, but that's fine because it's actually settling right in this area. If it breaks above 4, you got a runner. I'm going to set my alerts at 4. If it does break above 4, I will buy it, especially if it's closer to the end of the day. Set your alerts at 4. Keep your eye on it. The company's very active. They're probably going to give some type of timeline, which I love timelines. I love when they come out and they say, for Q2, we're expecting this acquisition and this merger and this, that, and the third. That will cause a push. Now, it won't last forever because that news only lasts so long. So we'll get the push above 4. We will zoom when that happens. I will bring out a bigger chart, zoom out a little bit, and we'll see our resistance where the next one is. I do believe the next resistance to be about 5. So it's not going to give you a huge push, but if it's breaking out on all cylinders, if you do get above 5, then now you're looking, we'll talk about that when we get there. Set your alerts at 4. VPLM. Now, they did have some VPLM. By the way, I don't mean to look like James Caan right now, but can you work? She's a Louisa Mama Mandingo. VPLM, you son of a bitch. Why? Okay, that was my mistake. This is just, you know. Okay, here it is, finally. Now, I might actually be looking at this here because, look, why middle band? Complete pullback. Now, be careful because there is still a couple weeks. I thought it was gone. Okay, look, this is just a classic rejection. Okay, this is a classic rejection. I noticed it during that day. I was like, somebody's selling heavy here. Here's the deal. It just didn't do it. This is a very good chart that usually breaks out. I'm sorry. That's what I was seeing. It didn't work out. I sold in the 9s. I told everybody that I was selling in the 9s. I swallowed my pride, and I know I had a full video on it, but sometimes what looks really good can change at the drop of a dime, and you better be willing to just say, you know what? It doesn't have what I thought it has. The market has given me this price. Goodbye, because there will always be another opportunity, and there will always be another opportunity to get in this. Once I sold it, it could have went to 11. I was thinking, oh man, maybe I made the wrong choice. Clearly I didn't, but that can happen. Okay, it could have held, it could have held here and then all of a sudden started to pop back up. I didn't know, but clearly I was right. I went with my gut, and my gut, here's the thing. I didn't sell where I could have sold. I could have sold above 10 and made a lot more money, but I was willing to take 9 too because I was still up $700, which is fine. That's enough money for me. I don't need to be, making 20 grand every trade. And first of all, if I held, I'd be down a couple grand. See how that works very quickly too. But listen, if you're gambling and you make $1,000 on blackjack and then you lose a couple hands and you're down to 500, you're not going to be like, well, I got to get back to 1,000. No, you take the 500, you realize that your streak is over, and you walk from the table and you made $500. Now, it might not be as much as you could have made, but that's fine. And it's the same thing in the stock market. If it's not working, don't tell yourself, I got to get back to that price or I'm going to die. No, just sell it. Take less of a gain, but realize that when you go into more info on your E-Trade and it says, oh, there's another 500 banked, worry about that figure rising. And that's it. Don't worry about getting the max gain on everything that you do. If you do that, it's going to get you in trouble. This is another tip that you need to learn. You got to just let it be, okay? Because the first day you're going to be like, if it does run on you, you're going to be like, oh, God. Second day, you're going to be like, meh. Third day, you're going to be like, what happened to that one? I don't even care. Okay. So it takes a couple days sometimes, especially if you had a lot of money in it, but just be willing to say goodbye, good night, adios, hasta luego. I liked you for a day and now it's time for you to go. And I hope that you find somebody else that's better for you. And I hope that you live a life of enjoyment and the nicest fun. And I hope that joy is within your chest. But for today, I have to say goodbye and good night. And maybe we'll see each other again, maybe in the future, maybe not. But it was a great time with you. And let's just leave it at that. MWG, look, okay, this could go on an absolute tear back to this middle band, 223. You're currently hitting at 68. This thing has been tanked to it's an IPO. I don't usually play with IPOs, too risky. It could sit here for a very long amount of time. It could go down lower. It's just, I don't know. I don't really like these plays too much, but a lot of people do. And this could literally pop on Monday to $1 million. I have no idea. It is down and it is, but look at these technicals. It's not giving me enough of a read. The volume's a little bit low, not tremendous. This thing could get some type of news that pushes it. Again, I don't know how long this is going to trade sideways at bottom. There's just too many other good things out there. But if you're looking to accumulate something at the bottom, this will be one of them. SECO. I got to get through these quicker. SECO. Yeah, I mean, look, you had this spike, you had the drop. You had this spike, you had the drop. Looks a lot like SMX to me. But, I wouldn't recommend selling here, but I would never recommend selling or buying here. Don't get sucked. This is a 3 green soldier. After that, I mean, you'd have to have the most insane push. The 3 green soldier, you buy on this one and you sell on this one. You don't buy on this one and then hope it keeps going. Trust me. Don't trade on hope. You will get demolished. But for the person, my subscriber that is in this, I wouldn't recommend selling here just because, I mean, you still have this gap to fill. So, you could get all the way down there. I'm not sure, but I don't know where you're in. But again, don't just take your loss. If you bought, let's say you bought at the exact top at 132 or somewhere not up here. Let's say you bought at 138. You had an opportunity and you bought it on this day. You had an opportunity to get out. You should have just got out, realized that it was failing here, it was losing strength, and then been like, you know what? I made the wrong choice. I missed it. Get out. Don't sit there and think, I don't care. It has to go back up because I made the right choice. You will end up losing. GEIGER. This thing went on. Now, again, this thing, a lot of these drop-offs tend to turn around really very, very well. This thing popped down real hard, showed you a reversal candle here, and then boom, boom, bop. Thing ran from, I mean, what? Okay, now it ran from 8.2 to 3, which is still 200, 300%, whatever that is. And it's not like your technicals are smoked. I'm just saying, like, I don't really like the fact that this closed all the way down here from this type of wick. Your volume was pretty significant for the first time in a while, last 3 days. That looks great. But again, it's just too exhausted coming down. Even though it's not on your technicals, I'm not buying something that's up, even 100% here. to be honest, after a lot of these drops, they do go on a significant run. This is your resistance here. You know, you keep pushing above 18.4, somewhere in that, you could easily get another green candle that fills up this wick. I mean, like I said, your technicals aren't crazy. Have to do some DD on that. That's when you look into the fundamentals and say, is it worth it to chase here? Really, the buy was on that slope. Just realize that you're getting a better price than pretty much anybody's ever had. Scoop some up for a gamble, and, you know, you might be rewarded. LSDI. Okay. I mean, this one doesn't look terrible. I don't love the fact that it's probably going to fill this gap right here down to 108. You're probably going to get like some type of smaller candles here and then maybe a reversal. That's what you're going to hope for. Your technicals are not overbought or oversold in any way. Kind of oversold in a way, actually. Now they're turning up, which doesn't look bad. You did have this huge volume day. You're going to have the volume continue. This doesn't look like something that I would be interested in, so to speak, but at the same time, I could be. If it holds... That's why I want to see a couple more days to confirm some type of stability on this gap fill. Is it going to come down to 108, secure that as a bottom, and then continue on the next leg? Very well could. That's why you just watch for something that's going to show you another stair step. You don't really take a chance where this thing could just come right back down to the lows of 92, especially trading up here. That's how you lose a quick one. And I'd rather have confirmation of stability at bottom on that gap fill than just winging it and on a prayer. GFAI. These are the things that really, really hurt you. Look, you had a perfect stair step here. Bang. You didn't get the third leg. It looked like it was probably going to do that there, but you kind of never broke this downtrend, and it just kept downtrending. Once you broke below this band, you were really in trouble. Then it started to close hard below that band, and this is showing that somebody's like, nah, it's not going to do it. Again, this is why you don't chase up here, because then you end up down here, and that is no place to be. It's literally like being in that movie, The Abyss, with the aliens living in that crevice in the ocean. That's your neighbors now. Those are the people that you spend time with, who you talk to. You eat their food, which is kelp and seaweed and little dust from the ocean floor. That's your diet. You drink salt water. Your body just has to adjust, and you have to have sex with aliens. And that's not somewhere that I want to be. I don't want to have sex with aliens. I'm not trying to reproduce with aliens. And if you buy something like this and you don't get out soon enough, you're going to be in that abyss and you're going to be having sex with aliens. So, you know, now that you're down here, sure, it's providing for some swings. It was an offering. I'm sure the offering now, but your technicals are starting to turn up. This isn't a very low price, a very historical bottom, so to speak. So you could be okay to rise back to the surface. But just remember, once you start getting close to that surface, that pressure is going to pop your skull. So you're going to want to come back down a little bit, and before it goes back up. That's the flow of the markets. That's the ebb and the flows. Get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out. Tio, somebody said that I missed this one. I'm sure I'm missing something every single day. That's the thing, is don't ever get the idea that you're going to miss it. You missed it. Oh, you're screwed, because then you're going to chase the top. Now, this looks like a lot like GBDVM. It is starting to break out here and starting to get a little bit more volatile. It's not on this steady incline anymore, which scares me, because now it's more volatile. You're very, very high. Sure. Yeah, I could have bought down here randomly, and sure, I missed it. Fine. I don't get that. I don't think, I missed it, damn it. I'm like, is it a good buy now? Because if it's not, could care less. TIO, never heard of it. TIO, don't care anything about it. Oh, I missed it? I'll get the next bus. Thanks, I'm in no rush. I don't want to lose my money because I'm worried about catching that one. I'm not trying to run after that bus and get hit by a car and be paralyzed for the rest of my life. Okay, so that's fine with me. I missed it. No big deal. Okay, is it a good buy now? No, it's well overbought. Could it keep? Is this a bullish candle? Yes. You do get above this price, sure. But again, I'm not willing to risk it. Once I'm able to day trade, this is something that I would look at. And if it is breaking hard with volume above this resistance, which is very close to, then I might scalp it for a little bit. But I can't do that. And I'm not risking this bad boy, this big pup, okay, this big drop, because that's what happens sometimes. I'm not losing 50% ever again in my life, ever. I've been there. I've done that. I felt that. I didn't put my tooth in for 2 days. I wanted to hang myself from my closet rungs, and that's no life to live. GTCH. That's not the one I want. Looks good, though. Do I want GTCH? GCTH? GCTH? GHTC. GHTC. GTCH. That's why. Okay. Look, I've been watching this one. Thank God I didn't buy it 6, because sometimes you do have to look at the DD, and I realize that this merger isn't set to be closed until middle of June or June 15th. That's too far away. People aren't going to wait that long. So they're going to dump, and that's fine. Bring it down to me at 3, which is a historical. If you give me 3 on the ask, I'll buy it and wait. It's just, that's sometimes what you got to do. I know that that's 3 weeks out, but if you're buying 3s, or I'll wait for it and see what it does there. But I'll keep an eye on that 3, and I'll keep looking back at it, because once 3 start to clear closer to that date, you buy 3, you could easily be selling 6. Easily. That's a double. So you accumulate here. Even if you want to just start to accumulate, throw $1,000 at it, take some gains for it, throw another $1,000 at it until when that date comes, then you're selling for 100% at 6, and whatever you have accumulated in that stock is brilliant, and you make a lot of money. That's how it's done, folks. But that one will come back into play very, very shortly. We will keep our eyes on that. We will hawk that like a little hawk boy, like the nicest little hawk, the nicest little peregrine falcon on a perch in New York City, looking for the nicest little pizza pie that was left in the trash, just soaring. Okay, enough of the stories. Okay, we're looking at AXXA now. This thing had a bull trap up here, and then they just dilute. I was in this one during this, and it just didn't give me the opportunity, so I took my money out again, took my 10% loss. Thank God that I did. They're going to have to stop diluting. Usually, I don't know if they've come through with their promises saying that they were going to have 3 acquisitions by the end of the month. I think that was by the end of May. Clearly, we're past that. Probably what happened is they did PR it, some of these acquisitions. But remember, when acquisition news isn't that great. I used to think it was. And then I was always like, why am I losing money when they announce an acquisition? Well, because that acquisition has to be paid for. A lot of times it's paid for in shares, common shares that are immediately convertible. So they can dump into the market, and they're not going to wait for the price to go up. Shut up. They're not. They don't care. They're already up a crap ton of them. Their money's there. They're taking it. They're not worried about it. They always will. They'll never hold. So they take their money. Because most of these small caps, they don't have the cash to pay for these acquisitions. They need to take money from the market, which is why they became a public company was to take your money to and advance their agenda. So just like the government does, they take your money to advance their sick agenda. And I don't know why anybody would even want to be no more talk time about that. But AXXA, somebody wanted me to review this and a few others. I'm sorry, I forget what the other ones were, but this is a dilution machine. Until they turn off that faucet, it's just going to continue to lose value until that it is low. It is at 4, but you can keep showing signs of, you just got to get above this downtrend realistically, and you're going to need some volume in the company to stop selling. JAGX. He's going to be out too late. See, this is why you don't chase this FOMO. They diluted it back down. They got an ATM on this stock that's literally an ATM. They're just using it nonstop. They're abusing it nonstop. They're diluting their shareholders bones to dust. If you look at the CEO of this company, it is a transsexual. I don't care what anybody says. That is a man. That is not a lady. They say that they have a cure for diarrhea, which is hilarious. Or diarrhea in dogs or who cares? And they might, and that's fine. But I'm not going to buy a poop stock. stock, because it is a poop stock, and that's why they keep pooping on your face, and you keep eating it. And they're going to continue to do it as long as you keep acting like a toilet. Now, I don't want to be a toilet. I have bigger aspirations in life. I'm dreaming a little bit bigger than being someone's poop bucket. Okay, and that's what the CEO is doing to you here. They're dumping on your face, and you're oddly enjoying it. Now, you can, sometimes they don't have to poop, and sometimes they're going to be out of the bathroom for a little while to give you some type of time to recover. So you play those swings, and that's fine. You get your face cleaned off, you brush your teeth a bit, you have an apple, and then you might have to go back to being that turd. So you just get in on that time where you're in between meals, and that person doesn't have explosive diarrhea on your face. And they will, and most companies will do that to you. They don't care about you. They look at you as some, what's it called? Someone to be dominated. They are dominating you daily. They're literally, they're 2 fists deep. Okay, they're 2 fists deep, and you're still singing their glories. So, are you a submissive young child to these companies? Do you want to marry them and then be a submissive young child? No, probably not, right? So, we're just going to leave it at that. I'm going to get off that tangent because it's getting a little bit odd at this point. But this is what it is, and that's what they do. And I can't tell. I have to only tell the truth, and that's the way that I picture JAGX. It's been tearing people's gaping, I believe is the word. PLPL, do not buy it up here, in my opinion. Now, it is running, and it is getting volume, and it is steady rise, so you're not overcooked on any of your technicals. You are above this previous resistance. Actually, Jesus Christ, kind of looks good. But look, this thing has been the last time I heard about this thing, it was some Indian guy that was starting crypto hotels. Okay, I don't know what the story is now. I haven't looked into it. But all I know is it's up 100%. It is a extremely bloated share structure. It doesn't. I don't know. I mean, it is breaking resistance, so that's usually a good thing. I don't know what the date is, what they're going to call the date on this, but just be careful buying up here because, again, it's a trip stock. You're buying it a little bit hot, a little bit. It's not over smoked, but you don't want to get in and then immediately get dumped on the next day or whatever because every tick means a lot. And this company used to be doing crypto hotels. So I'm sure whatever it is now is the same amount of crap. Money. I will not buy this until it breaks and holds above 2 because it did have a significant gain. I'm not trying to buy something up 37.5%. Now look, it looks great. It looks like a W here. It could easily break out. Your technicals look great. Your volume's coming in. They did say that there's if it breaks, again, I don't buy on a whim. I'm not sure it's at resistance. If it breaks that resistance with strength, I'm probably going to watch it in the beginning of the day. If it breaks out hard above 2, great. I'm not going to chase it. I'm going to wait for the lunchtime dip. If it starts to show stability at that lunchtime dip and it's holding above 2, then I will simply enter. But again, confirm what you're buying. Don't just buy it because everybody's talking about it, because you never know. It might get rejected here again because of the time frame is not set. They're not saying that it's going to happen on Tuesday. So you get any type of, you're going to get sellers up here. It's up 37%. A lot of people are going to realize, oh, that's a good gain. You're either going to buy 15.5. So I would set my bids at 16, which is what I had on Friday. Didn't get them. Or I'm going to see a blast over 2 and wait that it confirms and closes above 2. I don't care if I have to buy 2.2 or 2.3. Doesn't matter to me because I know that if it confirms that overshot and it gives a very strong close, then the next day I'm going to have a chance. People are going to come in. They're going to see what I see and they're going to push it in the morning. And that will give me an opportunity to exit because remember, I don't care what money does. I care about the money that I make. And that happens in realized gains, not paper ones. So when you go to the boards and everybody shows you, I'm up 10 grand, you're up 10 grand. You haven't made shit. You haven't made nothing. So you better take that gain and say, I've made 10 grand and not say I'm up 10 grand. Okay, make sure you're securing gains at all steps and you will be successful in this game. I promise you that. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Some people have been millionaires holding one stock, but that is extremely rare. It's like winning the lottery. Trust me, it is, without question. So stop believing that it's gonna happen to you. You might as well go buy a roll of tickets. DBMM, very strong recently, had a very hard push, getting a little bit of a pullback now. I'd like to see, and now it's consolidating up here. Your volume, not exactly high at all, about $12,000. But you're steadily increasing on your RSI. I just want to see a little bit more consolidation on here, but this has a very good chance to push. A lot of people like this stock. It's breaking that downtrend. I will be wide because it broke this downtrend. It looks very good, to be honest. I'm going to keep a close eye on DBMM and be watching for entry, whether it be a break of a really like 8, or if it pulls back to like 5 or 4.8, somewhere in that range will be a good buy for me. Set my alerts. Don't stare at it. Know that if I'm buying it in those ranges, I'm probably in good shape. KITTLE, this thing has been a moneymaker, like a money-making machine, up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Now it's starting to show a little bit of bullishness here. It's not getting that pullback that it used to. It's actually closing above. Now this one will be very interesting to see. Every technical looks very, very incredible. Now the only issue is the lack of volume. But I like the amount of volume at this resistance. If you had more volume up there, then it would be showing that resistance is a little bit stronger. But maybe people are deciding to hold now. Maybe the company is starting to come to fruition, and they are starting a PR campaign, and it is starting to get a lot of recognition. Now, I will watch 6. I'm not going to buy here. I should buy here, but I'm just not, because I'm going to wait for volume. I'm going to wait a push above 6. I will gladly buy it above that, because at that point, it's probably going to be going on the next leg. Looks a lot like ENZC to me. I'll scalp it from 6 to, let's say, 10. Okay, that'll be my buy 6, and my sell will be 10. I don't care if I get in at 6.5, because I know that's not chasing to me, because it's breaking above previous resistance, and I expect that to happen in the very near future. So again, set your alert and wait. GSAC. Extended. You're at resistance here. You get a very big candle. It will pull back. Look for a very harsh pullback. This is why we don't chase things like this. I know that one of the biggest bull crappers on the face of the earth is in this, and probably getting you to suck in to buy in at the top. And I'm sure that they bought it trip 1 for 500 million shares. It's all a lie. They're always lying to you. They don't care about you. I know that they save police officers' lives, and they own 6 houses in Florida, and they're, the greatest trader to ever exist, and they always buy the bottom and sell the top, and but you know. Okay, no. There's a lot of scams out there. Trust me, the market is ripe with them, and it comes in not only in the form of companies, but also in the form of posters. So know your posters, know who's scamming, know who's just talking trash, know who's being legit, know who's telling the truth, and play accordingly. You see too many pumpers on one board being bullish as hell, it's time to go, especially after it didn't have the strength to keep going at resistance. Great. Now it's time to pull on back, and we will look for entry accordingly. Will it be 5 or 6? I'm not sure, but it will definitely create this cup, this handle, and then we'll see if it continues on a bullish push. We will look at the dates. We will see when the news is expected. And again, we will play accordingly. But we're not going to buy things up that are up 800%. Sorry, not going to happen. Now, EPASS looks very good here. Needs to get above a cent, hold above it. If you do get that, you have an easy 30%. Watch it. I do like this now. Okay. What did it do here? Last time it looked a lot like this. We always look for patterns. It pushed up, had one day of a pullback, and then it went crazy. I'm going to be watching tomorrow for the same situation. I'm going to be looking for a pullback to, let's say, mid-8s. Okay, if I see this price, I'll set my alert at 8.6. If I see it at 8.5, might be a time to enter. I'll be looking to get that. RSI will have probably cooled off to 50, but it will stay in the hot zone. Your MACD is not going to be overcooked. It will be at resistance. You give me one red candle down to mid-8s, and I could easily be selling for a 50% gain the next day. That's what we're looking for. I like EPASS here, boys. SMX. Bollinger Band's tightening, not overbought on any technical. This company does like to put out news. I don't care what the news is because when the news comes out, it runs. I flipped this one before. I made money off of it before, 100% gain. I will keep my eyes on this puppy. Closed above 1, which is pretty bullish. It's showing support down here. Just wait for the news. Once the news hits, a very day tradable stock. You get in, you get out real quick. But you want to start accumulating in this range right above 1. It's fine with me. Eventually, it will turn out. Eventually, the company will release news, and you're going to have an opportunity to sell for at least 30% on SMX. I could tell you that without a shadow of a doubt. It's probably not going much lower than this. WETG, just a bottom play. Might give you an opportunity. It's just, wow, you know. I mean, look at this, dude. That's insane. Just filled this gap after a big day. You know, if you're going to buy it, you're going to buy it down here, right around 4 cents. You're just smoked on all your technicals, and this is just too much. God, man, it's a Chinese company. I don't know. It's just something to look at, you know, because you just watch for it to turn bullish. Keep it on your radar, but don't, you know, it is a falling knife. So wait for it to break that downtrend. NXMR, why did I mean, this thing went absolutely nutso. You know, you're at resistance. You know, your technicals aren't exactly overbought, but this thing had a lot of volume. But look, the reason why I kind of want to bring this one up is because the significant pullback, very quick one, and then boom, they send it. This is a tree shake. This is to get everybody out of the stock before they send it. That's why a lot of people, because they're just looking at the price, they're not looking at the chart, and they're like, God, I'm going to lose all my money, and then boom, they send it up. So this is always something as a sideliner to watch for. You get enough of a push down, then boom, you get a big spike. That's usually a shake. You got to watch for those. You know, those pullbacks can be a very, very nice way to make money. IDVV might be ready here again. I've traded this one in the past and made money. Now you want to watch that it gets a little, because you're still kind of in this downtrend, but I like your MACD, I like your RSI, I like the volume, 21 million, but you really got to break through this downtrend. You do have a gap now, which I'm not in love with. It's going to need a follow through, continued volume, which it very well could. But again, until it shows me a break of this downtrend, you know, it's not something I'm necessarily interested, because if it does break that downtrend, it's still going to be oversold on all my technicals. So I'll wait for confirmation for it to break that. Once it does, I do think this is a very thin stock. It has a very good chance of moving. WDELF, this thing could be ready. It's trying to break out of this downtrend, which looks great. 1 is right below you. That's where I would look to enter. I think that 1 is going to get tapped on Monday, but 11 is probably not going to be a bad price either. Watch how it trades throughout the day. Make sure that dilution doesn't come in. Don't get trapped. Don't chase FOMO. Maybe look for 1. If it blasts through, but you're seeing a huge bid on 9, maybe it won't be a terrible idea to hit the ask, given the fact that it's pretty much at its all-time low, I believe. This thing is it's just trying to break this downtrend, and it is currently. You just got to get a follow through. Again, technicals are kind of choppy, but they're not overbought. Closing above the 50 on the RSI is very good news. You did have 21 million in volume, which is kind of pretty much average, but the price is starting to move. So keep an eye on that one. You don't have to buy it, but keep your eye on it. GMVD? That's probably what I wanted. Yes. Okay. Look for entry at 44. This looks good. And just thinking, is this something that I want to buy? You have the volume, you have the liquidity, you have the pinched bands. Technical's not overbought in any way, shape, or form, and you are at a significant low. Just, again, watch this one. Don't buy it unless it's 4-4. It'll probably be that in the morning. I believe it's a NASDAQ stock, so it probably will trade pre-market. Don't chase it pre-market. Look for 4-4 entry. This thing could go. This thing could get going in a hurry. You might miss it. I might miss it. But again, don't get sucked into FOMO. GMVD looks very good. I got to get out of here because I got to get this thing uploading. It's probably another hour video. I can't help it. I can't help myself. I could literally sit here all day. If I could upload a 4-hour video in 5 minutes, I would go over every single stock that existed. All 19,000. You say that I'm crazy? Nah. The more work that you put in, the better result you're going to get. And trust me. Again, you could put in the most effort possible. You're never going to be a perfect trader. Get that through your mind now because it's actually going to hinder your trading if you don't. You're going to believe that you're the next, the chosen one, and you're going to end up getting humbled. The market has a way of doing that to every single person that thinks that way. So know that you're going to take a loss and you're going to have to live with it. Know that if it is, only down a couple percent, fine. You can live with that. Take it and use it elsewhere. Mitigate your risk. Manage your risk. Eat carbs for brain function. Eat carbs for energy. Don't do fad diets. Keep it moving. Walk around the block if that's all you can do. Walk around the housing complex if that's what you got to do. Go to the gym for as long as you can. Don't smoke cigarettes. Don't drink too much alcohol. Realize that eating fruit is just fine, but eating a cupcake is not. Realize that bashing on the boards is going to cause you to get enemies, but you want them. You want to soak them in. You want to be the villain. You want people to hate you because you are at war with them, and you do not want to make friends with the enemy because they will stab you in the back quicker than you can turn around, and that's a problem because trust me, everybody on those boards are out for their own agenda. If you are a noob, maybe you're thinking that you are part of that community, but they will break you at the drop of a dime. They do not care. They will lie through their teeth. They are snakes in the grass. Make sure that you are the wolf and not the sheep, because trust me, you can get sheared quickly and lose your coat and all of its colors like Joseph in the Egyptian times. You don't want to get that coat stripped because it's going to be worth something one day, my boy. And you want that account to be going north, not south, to live in the bottom of the ocean and having sex with aliens. Have a great day.